everybody, my name is Chris, and today we're looking at a really terrible, I hate fighting this character, Symmetra. I fucking hate every version of this character. I don't know why people like her, I don't get it. I think she's boring, I think she's annoying, I think she's just a pain in the ass. The only thing I even remotely give a shit about is that apparently there's a headcanon that she's autistic because her original design had her gun just latching onto you, kind of like what Moira does. Because someone who as someone who has autism, I can attest to the fact that we can't aim for shit. I have no depth perception, no aiming whatsoever. I can calculate with the best of them. I can do long form complex math problems, but I cannot throw a basketball to save my ass. So I guess that's where the headcanon comes from. I mean, speaking from personal experience, I get where the headcanon came from. I just wish it was with a better character, because I just hate fighting her so much. But with that hatred out of the way, let's look at her skin. Her base skin is actually kind of nice. The generic design of her is not my favorite, but it's part of her culture, and I understand that. But really, with a lot of designs, they're very simple or they're very overly designed, but she's too simple. She has just a solid color to her, and that's it. And that's just my problem. I mean, the blue works on her, but as we'll see later, the more complex her designs, oftentimes that makes them actually better. Her worst reskin is Technomancer, which is a funny pun on necromancer, but whatever. I don't know. I just don't like the orange on her skin. The dark brown, the cocoa of her skin, and the light orange and the yellow just doesn't really blend that well. Next up is Saffron, for the exact same reason. I mean, it's better, but not by much. I will say that her nails, being that kind of orange, goes well with her hand, but as an outfit color, I wouldn't go with it. Hayate? I have no idea how to pronounce this. But at least the purple and pink works well. It's a light enough color that it matches. The purple's a good fade too. It's kind of the same thing with Sombra, where the darker your skin tone, the lighter the color it works, but it has to be a cooler tone more so than a warmer tone. Yellow and orange are warm tones, whereas purple, blue, and green are more cool tones. Speaking of green, Cardamom. Cardamom is her best one because it's a nice, almost jasmine-looking green. It has just a nice pastel feel to it that matches her skin tone and goes well with her idea. This almost looks like a jasmine, like Princess Jasmine look to it, and I enjoy that about this skin. Her worst skin is Devi, D-E-V-I. And the reason for that is that while I understand that this and the next one I'm covering are part of her culture, I don't like how over-designed it is. Her mask is a really big focal point of her face, and removing that actually hinders the design. Her skin being blue makes no fucking sense to me. I know the deity she's going off of is blue, but I still don't like it. I also don't like just a lot of the detail on this. It seems it's culturally accurate, but it's just not what I'm after. I don't like the idea. Like, on her at least. Goddess has the exact same problem. Lighter shade of blue, which I'll admit looks better. And although this does have my favorite color palette, white and gold, but again, it just seems a bit over-designed, a bit too... I don't know how to put it. I just don't like this idea. Also, if you'll notice on her calves, her fucking paint is coming off. Like, that's just weird. Next up is Oasis, and again, the white, the gold, the teal, all my favorite things. But this seems too busy, too much like we've gone from too simple to too busy in like half a second. But it feels like this is more of a parade float or like a costume party idea, more so than her actual skin, or even a wedding dress with the veil. And it's gorgeous. It's just, most of her designs are fairly well done, and this one is better than the last two. It's just not what I want. Up until like the last two, these are all gonna be kind of samey. Again, her designs are really similar, even more so than like Reinhardt. So bear with me on this one. Atupida? Atupida? I don't know how to say that. It's her posh skin basically. Again, gold and white, good color scheme, but it's all it really's got going for it. It's too similar to her base skin. It's a better version of her base skin. And I like the reflectiveness. It kind of feels more futuristic. But at the same time, I really wish her base design wasn't so one article of clothing. Like that's what it feels like. Like they limited themselves too much with her design. But we're gonna get better as we go along. Next up is Regal, because Regal has a more cohesive look to it. Because of the blue and the gold and orange, it actually complements itself more than detracting. The blue accents on top of the orange skin makes it so that it doesn't pop on her skin so horrendously like the first two reskins did. This is a good way to balance out the cool and warm tones to give her a very balanced look. Copido? Qipao? I don't know. Quaido? Quopi? Copido? I don't know. The red works. It's a very muted red, almost a mauvey pink looking thing with gold on it. And this actually looks kind of like Iron Man a bit with her arm. But yeah, it's just a nice one. It's one of the few lunar ones that complements the person it's on because of all the actual floral pattern and detail put on the fabric. Again, because of the limitation of her being on a single piece of fabric, they've had to add more detail to the fabric, and that actually makes it stand out more than detracts from it with, say, Mercy. Next up is Vampire, and Vampire kind of has the opposite problem that everything else does. Her skin is extremely white, and the costume is black and red, which, yes, does complement itself. But the biggest problem is that I think if they made her just a shade or two darker, this would have worked a lot better. She's just a bit too pale. It works, but it could be a bit better. It's also just a decent Halloween skin, I'm not gonna lie. Peacock is how you do cool tones right. With the majority of blue, with the black and the gold accents, it actually looks like a solidly designed skin. The idea is that you want to complement her skin tone along with her general appearance. Blue works on her more than anything else. Also, I'm not an ass person. Why is her butt like hanging out of all of her outfits? Like I'm forced to notice this. What the fuck, Blizzard? The fuck. Next up is Viscar, and this one seems like a receptionist at like a bitchy office. Like she's just like the, yes sir, I'll be down with your coffee. Can I help you? Do you have an appointment? Like that kind of woman. But the design is solid. I love the pantsuit. I love the coat. I love the fact that you can't see her ass in this for some reason. I love this. This is a full outfit. The blue, the white, her hair on the updo. It works. Architect, I think that's how you pronounce this one, is better because of the blue and the gold. As I said before, and I'm bordering on repeating myself, gold works for Symmetra along with blue more so than any other color combination. And the fact that she's covered head to toe and has the updo and a different general vibe to her makes this skin more than anything else she owns. It's really solid. I love this skin on her. Next up is Figure Skater. And Figure Skater has a lot of advantages, but the biggest one is the fact that, again, her hair is up, which I like. She's covered really well, which again I like. The teal works on her very well. It's a lighter color that complements not only her skin tone, but the sequence that she's got on her arm. This is a very good winter skin because it complements what the character would love to do, because she's of Indian descent, so she really wouldn't figure skate that much, and so she found a talent that she likes and is willing to keep doing it. That's cool. Also, you get to see her whole face for once, which, with her hair parted the way it is, complements the fact there's no mask, which I said before was a drawback with like Deity and Dajiada. I don't know. But in this case, it actually works. Our runner-up is Dragon, and the reason Dragon is second best is because it takes the concept and makes it more unique. Most people would have just given her scales and put the wings on her back and called it a day. They're like a Mercy knockoff. Which, by the way, Blizzard, next year for Halloween, give Mercy a dragon skin. She has wings! Do it! Anyway, but for this one, the dragon works on her because the scales, the lava, fiery chest plate, all the accoutrement you associate with a dragon is on here, and it's badass. The boots are meant to look like the haunches of a dragon. The wings are her new skirt. She's covered from head to toe. The makeup is really good. The eyes are a nice touch. The detail in this is just miraculous, and I fucking love it. However, it did get beat out by one skin, and that is Magician. Why did Magician beat out everything else? Well, it may not be her best looking skin, but it's certainly a skin that I wouldn't have, thought of. It's different for her. It reminds me a lot of Zatanna from DC Comics, which if you haven't seen my older stuff, last year I did a video on the best DC heroines, and Zatanna was number 2. Zatanna is a magician who speaks backwards, and that's her power. She just says sentences backwards, and that's her spells. And this reminds me of that. Very kind of different aesthetic for her. I love the glowing, glittering, see-through arm. I love the glove on her. I love the fact that her shoes have different suits from cards on them. I love the traditional tuxedo look that still complements her original design. I love this skin. It is truly her best skin by the virtue that it takes her science and turns it into magic, which, as the saying goes, magic is just science we don't understand yet. And that's a cool little nod to that quote with this skin. Alright, with that being said, my name is Chris. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do what you do, and I'll see you guys next time.